Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Florida Aviation Network's production from the beautiful campus of Sun and Fun in Lakeland, Florida. Today, we are here to interview our Aviation Technician of the Year, National Aviation Technician of the Year, Beau Hardison. My name is Bob Jex. I am your host for this afternoon, and we'll get things kicked off very quickly. But just first, a programming note. The Florida Aviation Network brings you aviation education and safety events all week long during Sun and Fun. You can join our broadcasts for free. They're streaming live on the internet and recorded later on YouTube for later viewing. Many of our events are worth Wings credit, and you're welcome to tune in either live or after the fact to earn Wings knowledge credits. We'll be bringing these presentations to you not just during Sun and Fun, but throughout the year. Please take advantage of what the Florida Aviation Network is able to bring to you. I think you'll find it well worth your time. Now, we turn our attention to Beau Hardison. Beau has just won a huge, life-changing honor. He is the National Aviation Technician of the Year, having beat out a large field of competitors for this prestigious award offered through the General Aviation Awards program, which we promote heavily on FAAsafety.gov and within the Florida Aviation Network as well. The General Aviation Awards are a joint service of the FAA and aviation industries across the country. You are now looking at the 2025 winner of the Aviation Technician of the Year, Mr. Beau Hardison. And Beau, you have come a long way to be sitting in this chair today, and I want to welcome you to the stage of the Florida Aviation Network. Thank you very much for being with us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you come from? What are you doing? And how did you come to know about this award?
Thank you, Bob. It's truly a pleasure and an honor to be here. Winning the award was an unexpected surprise. When you look back, and when I look back, I started in aviation when I was a teenager. I was basically a glorified lineman at my father's FBO, and I wouldn't think that 40 years later, having spent probably the last 25 years in aviation and aviation maintenance, that I would be honored. I try to keep and live by a simple rule. If we're going to do something, we try to do it right, and when we have opportunities, we try to seize on those opportunities and help people out. The aviation community as a whole, as most everybody knows, is a very open and sharing organization as far as sharing knowledge and what we do and how we do it. And at the beginning and end of the day, it's all about safety. My company and my business is located in Mountain View, Arkansas. We're an FAA 145 repair station. Our primary focus is on non-destructive testing. We also perform 91, 411, and 413 avionics transponder tests on aircraft. Got into doing that for a company that had about 28 aircraft, King Airs mainly, stationed outside the United States. And they liked the fact that we showed up, did a good job on their SRM spar inspections, and asked us to start doing those avionics inspections. So we grew into that. I really like it. It's very similar to non-destructive testing. Sometimes I feel like I know I'm not as good a technician or a maintenance person, an A&P. I do hold a repairman certificate to perform these inspections, but if you catch me with a screwdriver or a wrench in your hand, you probably have a problem. But we're very good at what we do, and we don't want to find anything, but more importantly, we don't want to miss something. It's just people fight complacency. We educate and train and teach about that all the time, but we always want to do a good job and try to make sure that not only the pilots and people inside the aircraft are safe, but those people that are on the ground. And we just get up and go to work and do what we're supposed to do every day. So we come from a little bitty small town. It's a good culture there as far as the people. Most people don't even understand that they see our little logo on our airplane, and they don't even have any inkling that what our mission is as far as safety and keeping people safe, not only in the air but those on the ground. So
that's important. Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to a mutual friend of ours, Ms. Heather Metzler. She is my counterpart still there at the FSDO in Little Rock as a Fast Team Program Manager. So how you doing, Heather? Great to talk to you. And I wanted to ask you, what advice might you give to young people who are considering entering this profession called aviation, either on the operational side or on the maintenance side of it? The aviation industry needs people to join it and to make a career out of it. What would you say to people who are on the fence, flip of a coin as to whether they do one thing or another?
Great question, Bob. I visit and speak regularly. We go out and work with Aviation and participate with the STEM program, because we are kind of a cottage industry. Everybody knows about being a pilot and flying airplanes, but the maintenance and how we take care of and maintain an aircraft is just as vital a mission as crewing or flying the aircraft. I don't think the young people really are exposed in a great deal to what the opportunities are that are out there and the great people that you can work with. A lot of the people that work for me come from the military. Probably 75% of my workforce are veterans, and they understand mission. Some of them were involved in aviation in the military, some of them were not. And so we just got to educate these people and tell them what a wonderful program we have and the opportunities that lie out there. There's not a finer group of people. You never meet a stranger in this business. If we don't know the person, you know of the person. It's like, you and I just met, and the fact that you know Heather, one of our fast, program managers, it just speaks volumes. So if you don't know the person, you might know of them. People are always willing to share advice. It's like hangar talk. We're always learning and exchanging information, and it's a good thing. So to reach out to them, we just got to do a better job of going out to the schools and the young people. I heard it expressed probably a week ago real well that this person's probably close to my age. There weren't fences 20, 30, 40 years ago. You could ride your bicycle out here, and if you hung around an airport long enough, somebody was probably going to offer to take you for a flight, or they'd be tinkering on an airplane, changing the oil or putting air in the tires, and you'd see what was going on, and they would share that information with you and talk. Today, in the culture that we face is, there's a fence around the airport, so we got to help bridge or put a gate there where they can get through the gate and maybe get there and experience some of the people, the gray hair, gray beard people that have all this wonderful knowledge and want to share it and tell the stories. So
that fence is a psychological barrier, but we don't want it to be anything more than a physical barrier. If a person is predisposed to curiosity with this profession, we want them to knock on the door, start talking to people who are on the inside of the fence, and get to know what they do and how they got there. And I would offer also, as a young person looking to get into the professions of aviation, talk to the mentors out there and ask them a question such as this: "Sir, ma'am, what are some of the mistakes you made along the way?" Are you willing to share some of the career mistakes you might have made from which you recovered that made you a better person as you came up through the ranks?
Certainly. We're all human. We all can make mistakes. One of the things, before I give a first-hand experience of something, is I tell people to participate with safety.gov when I'm out visiting with maintenance facilities where we're in there working. And I said it's the best insurance you'll ever get without having to pay for it. Safety.gov and being just signing up for the FAST team and getting the free education that's offered out there there's always something we can be doing better. So used to work with Children's Hospital, and every time I do a logbook entry for them, we would have done some type of an inspection. Mainly we're working on a Sikorsky S-72, and the director of maintenance would give me advice on how to better write my logbook entry, fit, form, and function, and then follow the chapters within it. Because a lot of times it's sad, but we're not really judged on the work that we do. We're judged on the paperwork that we do. You know, the kind of one of the running jokes in the aviation community is, well, it's not going to fly unless you got this pile of paperwork, you know, sitting there that says that it's okay to fly. So, one, the documentation and learning that. I understand the regulations very well. What we try to do is mitigate risks and stuff as far as when we're looking and examining things. Probably a good example is I learned NDT. I was fortunate to work for a company. They sent me to the school to learn the different NDT inspection methods, penetrant and magnetic particle.
NDT meaning?
It means non-destructive testing. So we want to test the parts and not destroy them. If the parts are okay, then we will put them back into service. So we're looking at wing spars, we're looking at propellers. I started off in a propeller repair station, and I'd gone to school. I was starting to inspect parts, and it was probably 6 months. 6 months, I'm like, why are we doing this? I don't even know why we need to do this. I've never seen anything. 6 months, I found the first crack I ever found. And it was like a eureka moment for me. The light bulb went off, and I was like, now I get it. I understand, because if this part fails, the whole propeller assembly is going to fail, and then that plane's going to have some serious problems. Probably a real life experience. So my background kind of was in marketing and sales in the past, so I have a bad habit of you asking me a question and me going, yes, I can do that. And so I've kind of learned to put a governor on myself on what I'm capable of doing. There's a reason I don't have an AMT license. I'd be tempted to work on everything and do things that I'm really not trained and smart enough to do. So I was asked to go and do a bore scope inspection on an engine. And so we look at everything. We don't have to be certified and have a VT, NDT certificate, which is visually trained. But we look, every mechanic, every pilot looks at something. You're looking to see if it's what it should be. Is there air in the tires? Is there oil on the dipstick? Things like that. So we're constantly doing it. And I kind of equate it to like driving a car. You don't think about those things. I remember back when I was 15, 16 years old and I was fixing to drive a car, I knew every little step. Like, we're going to put the key into the door, we're going to turn it, we're going to open the door, we're going to sit down, we're going to put our seat belt on and things like that. And so we don't break down some of those procedures and steps. Anyway, I was doing a bore scope inspection on this engine, and the one thing you don't want to do with a bore scope is get it hung up in the engine, and I got it stuck inside the engine.
No.
And so, you know, it's about mission readiness. People want to go, they need the plane back in service, or we're trying to make sure that it's safe. Anyway, I get the bore scope stuck. It took us 2 days to get the bore scope out. So that's one of those real world experiences. I was trying to do something I wasn't super familiar with how I manipulated the equipment and put it inside the aircraft. And it caused a delay for it coming back. The good news was there was no damage to the aircraft, and we didn't see anything inside the aircraft that needed to be repaired or fixed. So it was just an inconvenience. But that's one of those real life situations I ended up in.
Beau, you're the kind of guy I'd like to take as an accompaniment on a long road trip, because we would have lots of stuff to talk about. I would love to ask you about how artificial intelligence is changing your industry, and in a longer interview we might actually have time to talk about that, but I want to emphasize, before getting into something like that, it's so important for a junior professional to master the fundamentals. Talk a little bit about mastering the fundamentals at an early stage of one's career. Well,
I'm also a pilot. I started flying when I was very young. Got a little over 3,000 hours. There's never not a good enough excuse not to go flying when you can go flying. I think it goes back to the same fundamentals I learned while starting my career and being a pilot. Is you start with your walk-around inspection of the plane. And so you start at the pilot's door and you walk around and you check all the fairings, all the attachments, making sure everything is safe. You come all the way around, you check the oil, you're looking at the tires and brakes at each place as you're walking around. Then you get back in, and once everything's done, then you know that you're good to go. Then you can climb inside and prepare yourself inside the cockpit for starting the aircraft. I think maintenance is kind of the same way. We need a checklist, and we teach this with safety.gov. You see this, the human factors and our checklist, and what should we be paying attention to? If you just follow the checklist and repeat the same steps over and over again, then you're going to mitigate having problems. So I kind of like that process and procedure and the redundancy of doing the same thing over and over again. If we stay within those means, we're less likely to have a mistake. It's like for us in maintenance, if you pick up a tool and it's a measuring type of device, let's say a torque wrench for example, and it's out of calibration, then you're not supposed to use that tool. So you want to put it back down or get it sent out and get it calibrated and go find a proper tool that's in good shape to work. It's kind of like that driving, you got to put the seatbelt on. I can't get in a car, I can't get inside of a car without putting my seatbelt on. It's like one of the first things I do when I get inside the cockpit. And it's muscle memory from doing the same thing over and over again and being repetitive and then being consistent with what we do. I have a good friend in Arkansas who's a United Airlines pilot, and he shared some of the training stuff that they do, and I try to do this as well. My team members all get tired of probably me talking about this, but in addition to planning it, I look out and do a debrief afterwards when I finish something, and I'm constantly evaluating myself and what I did and what I didn't do. What could I have done better? So it can be as simple as, just talking to somebody and discussing an issue, or maybe a more important issue. They've got something seriously going wrong with their aircraft. We found a crack in it. It always causes us a lot more work when we do find something. And you got to be prepared. It goes what I think I was speaking earlier with the veterans that work with me, is we're mission driven. So whatever the mission is, we're going to be there to support you so we get through and we have a successful outcome. So tying those things together, and then following a checklist, following a procedures list, and then concluding with, let's evaluate what we did. What do we do, and how can we do it better? If there were areas that we can improve on, and I just think of myself, I'm a human, I make mistakes, and God bless this country, that we get to express ourselves and be like that. And if we do make a mistake, then hopefully we can catch it and fix it before it leads to something else. It's never one thing that gets us in trouble. It's always a combination of things, whether you're a pilot or a maintenance provider.
Beau, your selection for this very prestigious award makes you, even if you didn't want it, and I'm sure you did, it makes you a leader in the industry. My next question is aimed towards middle and upper level management in the maintenance professions for aviation. What advice would you have for middle and upper level senior executive leadership for the aviation, avionics shops, maintenance shops out there? What about mentorship? How important is it to mentor the people that are coming up?
Well, I think mentoring's the key, especially if you're going to be a good mentor and you're trying to show someone how to do the steps right and properly. The other thing is it's got to be a two-way communication. You've got to, if subordinates or young people come to you and they have an issue, you have to have open ears and an open door, and you need to be able to listen to their input. Sometimes they might have really good advice for you. They can say, hey, this is not working. I don't have the right tools. I don't have the right training. This is a problem. This is always a problem. Why don't we fix this? And if you listen to those things and watch for those things, then you can correct it. So I think those are key components. Just being receptive to somebody. They may not have any, it may not be worthwhile, but a lot of times it may lead to something else that is worthwhile. And if we're improving and getting better, then we're moving in the right direction. So the bottom line advice there is just listen.
Beau, I'd love to go on a long road trip with you, like I said. It's been a pleasure talking to you, even just a few minutes. I can tell I would love to have you as a lifelong friend. I want to thank you very much for coming to our stage today. Beau Hardison, people, your 2025 National Aviation Technician of the Year. And what a wonderful honor it is. This has been a production of the Florida Aviation Network. Please join our productions throughout the week during Sun and Fun, coming live to you in the clear from beautiful Lakeland, Florida, at the fairgrounds of the Sun and Fun Convention and Fly-In. This week we'll have a wonderful lineup of speakers. You can see those on FAAsafety.gov and at FloridaAviationNetwork.com. I want to thank you again. My name is Bob Jex. Honored to be here and hope to see you again soon on this exact channel. Have a wonderful day.